Welcome back everyone. I made a video yesterday talking about pretty much the top 5 reasons to go buy an iPhone 12, and now I have to go and do the exact opposite of that and talk about the top 5 reasons as to why you should not buy an iPhone 12. And I can definitely tell you there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons, and if you have the money and if you have all the money in the world, go for it, buy the iPhone 12. I would recommend buying the 12 Pro Max, but the first reason why I would probably recommend a lot of people not to pick up the iPhone 12 is if you already have an existing iPhone that's like past an iPhone 10. So if you have an iPhone 10 or newer, there's really not a crazy big difference in the performance or smoothness factor. Now for sure, when it comes down to it, for the individual iPhone 12, we're not talking about the 12 Pro, it's a good phone and it's faster than a lot of other phones that I've tested, including the iPhone 10, 10s, and 11, and 11 Pro, but I don't think it's a crazy big upgrade that Apple was kind of exclamating at their whole entire event. They made it seem like the A14 chip and the 4 gigs of RAM, whatever, that it was going to be a crazy fast phone, and it definitely is a fast phone, and it's definitely a smooth phone, but so was the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11. Those phones were still extremely fast and smooth, and even a phone like an iPhone 10R is still fairly fast for the most part, and it's still extremely smooth. I don't really have any problems. And when it comes down to the performance, like app opening and playing the games and stuff, that was perfectly fine and faster on the iPhone 12s. But the weird thing is the RAM management was such a weird experience, because sometimes I would be able to have consistent RAM management, for the iPhone 12 having 4 gigs of RAM. It has the same and if not more RAM than a lot of other iPhones I tested, but sometimes the other iPhones with even less RAM were able to keep the apps open in the background than the iPhone 12. So that didn't really make too much sense to me. I still don't really understand that too well, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can really do about it. But definitely I would tell you, I would not go buy an iPhone 12 just because of the performance. If you're coming from an iPhone 6s or iPhone 4 or something like that, then obviously you're going to get a better performing phone. But you can save some money and just pick up an iPhone 11 or even an iPhone 10 or 10R and still save a bunch of money that way too. So that's the very first reason. The second thing is, honestly, there's not that many crazy different features from the older iPhones to the iPhone 12s. They really didn't add anything crazy besides, my opinion, 5G. I think 5G is a really cool thing, and it's better to have it now included as a stock feature for all iPhones than have it unincluded later on or something like that. I feel like that would be kind of annoying, but it is still kind of weird that they didn't really add anything super crazy. The only main thing they did was change the body of it, and from the iPhone 12 they put an OLED screen on it, so if that's cool, then you can go for it. But I still think the IPS panel on the iPhone 11 was perfectly fine, and I don't even think it's that big of a, I think it's a cool thing that they changed the body and stuff, but I would have loved to seen a bigger battery on this. Even though it has better battery life from a lot of other iPhones, I would have loved to seen a bigger battery. I would have loved to see, a 120 hertz refresh rate, and there's just really nothing crazy like an inbuilt fingerprint sensor, different things like that. There's still a lot more they could have done with this device, and they increased the price for the iPhone 12, which is weird. So coming from the iPhone 11 that was $699, this iPhone costs $829, so that is very strange. They increased the pricing for this thing too, and they changed a couple things here and there, but still it's almost the exact same phone, and I find that very weird. I wish they didn't do that. Now the cameras on both these phones, the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro included, it's a good improvement, but it's nothing crazy. I compared these to the iPhone 11 and I did it to pretty much all the other phones, and you really start to see major differences, or even some crazy ones around that iPhone 7 series, maybe iPhone 8 series, not even iPhone 8, like iPhone 7. Other than that, it's almost the exact same cameras on all of them, and especially if you're looking at the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 12, almost exactly the same. There's a couple subtle differences here and there, but they are almost primarily the same camera. And the iPhone 11 is being sold for $599, so the fact that that one is noticeably less expensive than the iPhone 12 just makes the iPhone 11 that much better in my opinion. So going from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 12, camera-wise, maybe a little bit of an increase in, just the way the camera looks and everything, but it's not that big of an increase at all. The iPhone 10s, even the iPhone 10R, even the iPhone 8 Plus, all these phones still have pretty good cameras compared to the iPhone 12. There's more advantages and more features, I guess, for the iPhone 12's camera, but comparing the iPhone 11, even the iPhone 10R camera, even the iPhone 10s camera to the iPhone 12, not that many differences in my opinion. Now the fourth reason, or maybe the fifth one, I don't remember, the repairability of the iPhone 12 has actually gone down. So probably within the last several phones, probably since the iPhone 8, it's been pretty hard to replace anything on your iPhone, but now the iPhone 12 is even harder to replace those things, specifically the camera, which we just talked about. So if your camera goes bad or something like that, with previous models you were still able to swap out the camera for yourself. So if you wanted to go buy a camera online and repair it yourself without going to the Apple Store, you could have done it without too many problems as long as you connected everything properly and everything. Now on the iPhone 12 in this case, that's not really the, case in this position, because when you swap out the camera, iFixit actually mentioned, they said some things fail, sometimes the ultra wide sensor doesn't work, all those different things, and it's just something I don't want to deal with and I don't want anybody else to deal with. So if you plan on getting this phone, just know the repairability of, self-repairing this phone isn't really going to be good or at the same quality as something like the iPhone 11 or iPhone XS, or especially something like an iPhone 6s or iPhone 7. So those are another thing to keep in mind. Of course, screen repairs and stuff, I don't know how those are going to work. I'm sure Face ID and stuff are still going to be broken, but parts and everything to repair this phone are still going to be expensive for the time being. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Now, the last thing I want to hit on is the price difference. There's not that big of a price difference between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro. And if you have to go buy a brand new phone, the iPhone 12 Pro brand new is $999. The iPhone 12 brand new is $829. So again, when you think about it like that, it just kind of makes more sense to buy an iPhone 12 Pro. If you have to buy a brand new phone, you might as well kind of just pull extra money together and just buy an iPhone 12 Pro. That phone will probably get you more in the long run. And it's a better phone, it's a better feeling phone, it's more expensive, it's a better phone overall. But I would still probably recommend buying an iPhone 12 Pro over an iPhone 12 just because of that additional camera lens, as well as the, better performance, the LiDAR sensor, and just the way it feels so much better. And you're getting an extra 64 gigs of RAM for the base model. So if you're getting the base model of the iPhone 12 and the base model of the iPhone 12 Pro, you're getting twice the amount of storage. So you can actually kind of save money. If you're getting the 256 iPhone 12, you may see if you're okay with the 128 gigs and just get the iPhone 12 Pro. So that's another thing I would probably recommend a lot of people doing. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. I guess I have one more thing I wanted to hit on before I go and end this off. The iPhone 12, in my opinion, like I stated before, one of the bigger features of it was the MagSafe capability. And I guess this is a 6th or 7th reason. So a bonus reason for you guys. One of the problems with the MagSafe, since I've seen it and since I've even been using it, is that scratches can sometimes appear on the backside of the phone. Now, not only can it happen on the backside of the phone, but it can actually happen on cases as well. And this can be really, really annoying. On the Apple Watches, I saw scratches on the back of my Apple Watch because of the charger. But the craziest thing is that charger is actually indented on the back. So when you put it on, it actually, kind of molds to the back of the Apple Watch. For the iPhone 12, that is not the case. It's a flat display. It's a flat back. So it doesn't have a curve to it. So it's going to scratch the back of your phone even more. And that was a decent feature for the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. It's an extra $40. But that can actually cause some pretty serious damage to your device too. So that's another big thing in my opinion. If you're trying to go get a device, you don't want it to get scratched up by something that Apple has pushed out as a feature. And the craziest thing is Apple actually stated, and they put out a certain thing that said, this can actually cause scratches on your device. So you may want to go and swap out the cases. And I recommend everyone who has an iPhone 12 to buy a case, especially with the MagSafe capability, if you don't want to go and, risk the chance of having scratches on the back of your device. So that's another pretty big thing in my opinion, and kind of a con. If you're going to be using these type of wireless chargers, specifically the MagSafe capability, that's going to actually cause some damage to your device in the long run. It's not going to cause any damage for the first day or first week, but within months and months and months of using it, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of damage to the back of your device, especially when it comes down to the scratches. So that really pretty much covers it up for the most part. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.